Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 713 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by not one, not two, but three co-hosts. We got Ben Funky Askren, James Dean Rader, and David Dylan Duncan Bray. We're all here. I made it here. There was a crazy windstorm. My grill got blown off the porch and completely destroyed this morning. I drove halfway here and then forgot my computer. I came back. The forces are trying to make this show not happen, but I'm undeterred. It's the Houston area code show today.
Not a great 24 hours.
Not a great start for the Houston Astros. All you baseball fans, everyone loves this Astros team. I mean, America is just behind this
Aren't
group
they
of guys.
cheaters or something?
I'm not familiar with that. All I know is Caleb Davis Piles had a devastated evening last night because they got sort of rocked because they didn't hit the ball. But there's so much great stuff happening in the wrestling world. We don't even have to think about baseball that much. And one, the healing of America, perhaps. Jordan Burroughs and Ben Askren, ending the beef, squashing it, absolving their differences. Now we can move on. This is if not for America, it was great for me. Two of my absolute favorite people in the sport. It's not right if they're not on the same page. So that was great. We didn't get to talk about sort of have a little discussion afterwards, but I think my 86 kilogram master plan not off to a great start. But there's time, and that's what I'm going to focus on. There's time to still, convince him that this is that's going to be better for him. But his logic does make sense, and it sounds like he's like, who's going to beat me at 74 other than Kyle? Whereas at 86. I guess he sees these guys coming. You got the Aaron Brookses, you got Zahid, just to get to David. Not a lot of easy options, but I thought that was interesting. Like, he acted like he hadn't even ever considered it.
Yeah, I thought that was it sounded like he'd considered it a little bit because he was like, it's this much weight and this much difference, and I just can't do that. Yeah. I guess my counter would that be you don't have to weigh exactly 190 pounds or 195. It would be a disadvantage, but
cutting too much weight, it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view it. But he knows how he feels when he wrestles down at 74. I don't. I just watch from the cheap seats and opinionate, opine, I guess is the word.
Hey, the Thursday news dump last week. We didn't talk about it. Morgan State got a new program.
Wow, Cleveland State, congrats.
Congrats to
the Vikings.
Morgan State out of Maryland, HBCU, the first, I believe, to add wrestling. So
first at the Division I level.
At the D1 level.
I think there are 4 or 5 total. It's huge. I mean, it's a huge story. Not just the fact that they added it, but that it's a 9 scholarship. It's either 9 or full 9.9 scholarship program at the Division I level. That's big. And there's the HBCU Wrestling Foundation is like really trying to add more. So that's a big thing.
Yeah, and I guess the hope is that once you get the first, that the others would then see, hey, this is a great way to have the domino effect. So awesome to add a program, especially sort of a different kind of thing that we haven't seen at the D1 level. So always good to be adding more programs, and to add HBCU is even going to provide more opportunities, which is something that wrestling can really boast. Is like it's a sport really for everyone. So
sport for everyone, not for the rich people. Like that guy was trying to make an argument last week.
No, it's true. I think I thought about it more, and I think your idea of how affordable wrestling is not aligned with the common man.
I spelled out all the expenses. I literally told you all the expenses.
Yeah, I think you downplayed and minimized.
What did I downplay?
You're like two national
tournament.
At 2 national tournaments. You're like, they're just 2 national. Like, no, that is like real expense.
Go to the ones that are close to you. I mean, there's one. It's Western Regional. If you're in, say, California, you go to Las Vegas. There's the Freak Show. There are national tournaments on every part of the country. So, yeah, I think with a kid, if the parents can't afford it and they really want to get a summer job, I think they can afford it.
I think wrestling is the top Division I sport for first generation
Yeah,
it is true.
It is.
That is true.
That's true.
That's a true thing.
You know, when you're thinking about the expense of wrestling, a program like Morgan State is in a really good area to kind of serve kids who maybe are coming from backgrounds where it's hard to afford national tournaments like that. I think Nomad tweeted, hopefully Beat the Streets Baltimore becomes involved and is as a partner with this university. But that's a place where that's an organization that can kind of help to offset some of those expenses for kids and just has a plan and is organized. And I mean, Baltimore area, you're in proximity to some really good, big national level wrestling, kind of like Ben alluded to. So it's I think, easier for a kid to find access to some of the things they need to be good in a place like that Baltimore area, and a school coming up in that area is a really good thing.
Bodie Broadus would have been a good wrestler had he been given the opportunity.
Yeah, get that kid in the room, man.
He had a good right hook. He would have been a good MMA fighter.
But Jordan Burroughs
that was his
wants
corner.
to fight MMA.
Jordan Burroughs wants to fight MMA.
Just one.
He could be teasing. He's alluded to this before and then backtracked. But
I think this is more realistic that he's saying, I want to do it just once. But now he's going to have to figure out, the UFC won't want him for just once. If they're going to go through the process of signing him and marketing him, they would want, a better return on their investment, which is multiple fights. So I have a hard time seeing, it's going live on our screen. We're watching the likes go up. That's pretty tremendous. So I think like I said, some type of freak show event would be great with a Triller or someone
freak show event.
Freak show event. Rocky Mountain
circus. We need a circus. We want a circus.
Him versus Dylan Dennis. It's perfect.
That's a great. Dennis won't say yes. Dennis, he don't really. Dennis
he only fights cops now.
He even beat cops.
He lost to cops. Let me see when the last time Dennis fought is.
I think 2019.
Well,
he
hasn't done jiu-jitsu in a really long time either. Maybe it's been since 2017 ADCC since he last did jiu-jitsu. I don't know what he does.
Hasn't fought since June of 2019. I think he just beats. I think he's Connor's lackey maybe, and that's his job or something.
Inspiring. I think George. I think Jordan should fight him. He should call him out. The guys, at some point, he can't have but so much money. He's going to need to fight, right? Talking about Dylan.
Or do something for a living? Yes.
Something.
Yeah.
He can't work at Blockbuster like AJ Soprano did, so he's got to find something else. So yeah, Jordan really wants to fight. I mean, does he really, really, really want to fight? Or
I think he wants to fight. I think every man is curious about what it'd be like. Aren't you a little curious? Who do you want to fight, CP? You're a little curious. What it would be like to step in there. Who are you calling out? Bader?
I don't want to fight Bader. I don't want to fight someone that I love so dearly. Although I fought my brother probably around 100 times, fist fights. So
yeah,
and I love him, but yeah, I don't know who I would fight, or maybe I do.
JD, who do you want to fight in the office?
Anybody who wants to smoke, come get it.
All right, yeah, in the office.
Bader.
No one wants to fight Bader.
Bader's a little Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, he's as Ollie calls him, Donnie Thornberry.
Yeah.
He's just this wild animal of a man.
Look, and I have I think I have the gas tank on most people in the office.
Oh yeah,
but maybe not Bader. I mean,
I think.
Well, he's old now though. He had
true.
a great gas tank. He always won the 6 mile run at Missouri. Really, really good gas tank.
When we road tripped with JD back from the snowpocalypse, this guy was getting after it on the treadmill. I was feeling very self-conscious.
Bader was?
No, JD.
Oh, JD.
This guy was putting miles on the tires.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get up early and grind. I was rising and grinding this weekend, but freaking JD was already in the workout room when I got down there.
You sleep, I grind.
He says stuff like that. He's got all that chambered. He really should be an MMA fighter.
I'm not a morning guy. I think Super 32 is the only 8 a.m. double morning tournament. I don't know about that.
That's early.
It is early. Luckily, it gets over fast. So, most tournaments run until 8 p.m. So then you're up until 11 doing work and getting dinner and whatever. But when it ends at 5, you can kind of be done with your day early. You can go to bed a little bit earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I'm thinking about who I want to fight in the office. Listen. You can hit Sion with a cinder block, and he won't move.
You don't want to fight Sion.
No,
you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to fight Sion. Who do I want to see? We want
Ollie and
Spay.
Spay.
No,
Ollie
no,
and Spay.
no. We want Spay versus Sion so bad in a wrestling
I
match.
mean,
No,
they
Sion and whoop his ass.
I don't think so.
You've never seen Spay angry.
Spay is low key athletic in ways that
I'm betting on Spay. I'm betting on Sion.
he is Cael Sanderson's training partner, his main training partner, according to Sion. No, that's a joke.
I mean, I've seen them, slap each other a bit.
Yeah, it's like who can last over 48 seconds.
Yes,
because that will be the winner. Okay, we'll get back on topic as best we can. Who knows?
Our man Keith Gothard says he'll fight both Bader and Sion.
All right, well there you go. That sounds like 2 bad days for Keith Gothard. Wrestle-offs are happening. We're in the midst. Some interesting results so far. Most interesting one, Jordan Decatur takes out Anthony Echemindia at 141.
Flo, you guys overhyping people.
We cursed him with the film.
That film's great.
It
regardless,
is great.
You guys cursed him. He's third string.
It's like the Madden curse.
No, it's really not. He's not doing that great right now. Also, he could redshirt this year and then come back next year. Got some learn to. I follow him on Instagram. I'm sort of rethinking it, but the guy is certainly exercising a lot. I don't know how much of it is wrestling specific, but the young man is at least in shape.
He's shredded.
He is shredded up. I fear he may have more of a bodybuilding focus at this point, but I think he's very happy to be here in the United States.
What wasn't Gavin Kane a starter previously? I'm looking at his North Carolina result. Gavin Kane over Clay Lott.
Yeah, I think they both have started for UNC at different points, as has Jamie Hernandez. I'm not surprised to see Hernandez beat Heilman. But for Ohio State, the interesting thing for them is who goes 33 for them with Decatur, Echemindia, and D'Amelio all at 41.
Well, who was there? I just looked at this the other day.
So they've got their. Hold on, we can pull up Ohio State's wrestle off. They posted the brackets.
Yeah, the brackets. That's what I was looking at.
But it's not inspiring.
Like 33 was someone. It wasn't someone who's gonna make a run at All-American, but it was someone who was solid. I feel like, but maybe I'm misremembering. Who the heck was it?
Gallagher's listed in the
57.
At 57.
Did you see what they did with him? That was kind of funny. Is they pushed him all the way. So there was 4 people. We'll go to Gallagher's bracket. Hold on, right here. There's 4 people. So they do a prior wrestle off, then a wrestle off, then him. So like they got to work to get to him. I thought that was kind of unique, as opposed to just putting 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
He must be housing.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what that means to me.
You'll see that a lot, but it's like with an established starter.
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah.
He's probably crushing it. The other interesting wrestle-off will be at 84 between Romero and Ethan Smith.
No,
84?
Rocky Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so,
Mizzou had theirs last night, too.
Andre Gonzalez. I don't know. I mean, Kuntz is good at Greco, but I don't think he's a...
Okay.
I don't think either of those guys are probably All-American threats.
I'm a little surprised to see Gonzalez at 33. I thought he would be 25. At least a year at 25. Yeah.
Dude, he's certified at 25. He can go down to. Hold on, I've got the numbers here.
113.
Did you do the pinch test or what?
Got the documents.
I've got the documents.
He's got documentation.
He can go 113.
What?
So good.
What kind of cheating test is this? This is ridiculous.
They got him low.
My man forgot the 118 weight class is gone.
Dude, I remember it. I remember in college when they did. I had to take in our freshman year. We had to take this concepts of physical fitness class, and they did a pinch test and the whole thing. And it was the very next day that we did it for weight certification for wrestling. And they you did the pinch test in the class, and your I don't know, body fat's 8% or something, and then do it for the.
You're about 18%.
For the yeah, you do it with the coach and the trainer's like, all right, let me pull a little more here. Yeah. All right, 20% body fat. There you go.
That's such a bad way to measure.
Yeah,
it's the only way. Yeah, I hated it. Certification day was the worst part of coaching because
certification is pretty terrible too, especially at high school because They do it a one-time singular thing, and an athlete's body composition is very likely to change over the course of 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, especially high schoolers.
Also, getting a high schooler to be light but also hydrated is not easy for wrestlers in the Shenandoah Valley.
I remember at my high school, some kid did not pass hydration but wasn't cutting any weight. We were like, Riley, what the heck, man? He goes, I don't know, I forgot to drink.
Yeah, that's a common thing. It's like, you're the 215.
Yeah. The other thing, at one championship when we had to do that, they told us, because they obviously didn't want us to fail, but they told us that the test doesn't actually measure hydration. It measures the amount of solids in the piss, which is a proxy for hydration. And so if you're eating like a lot of steak, I guess, because it takes a lot to break steak down, or a lot of multivitamins or supplements, that potentially you could fail because of those things too.
Yeah.
Sounds like a perfect recipe.
That was what they told us.
Yeah. I eat steak with a side of multivitamins pretty much every day. So
crack
asparagus.
Crack them up. That perfect seasoning. I may never have steak again. Mine's been destroyed by the mighty winds of Texas.
See, the way to break that is slop up your steak.
Oh, I got slop.
Hydrate it.
They'd be slopped up this morning because it's a very wet morning, very rainy. Okay,
Mizzou had wrestle-offs last night. I think this is notable news. I believe Josh Edmond is a starter at 149, and Brock Mahler is going to redshirt.
Ooh, so Edmond won.
Mahler did a freestyle wrestle-off. Or a freestyle match because he's getting ready for the U23s, which is coming up very shortly.
Okay, got it. I was about to say, what does that mean? Okay. I like that. That's it. I mean, obviously Mahler's great, but I want to see what Edmond can do as well. I guess it kind of kicks down the lineup thing they'll run into at some point in the next coming years. But
because he's got a red shirt. Jake uses a red shirt, and Keegan still has a red shirt. So they have a bunch of red shirts in the middle of the lineup somewhere.
Mike Keegan red shirt?
Don't think it's looking like it anymore.
You thought he was, though?
I thought, yeah.
Dang. That'd have been something. He's going to go 65, right?
Yes.
He's going to win the NCAA wrestling tournament?
He's going 184.
He's going 84? Dang. Look out, Aaron Brooks.
All
right. Any other notables? I mean, Missouri's super deep. Are those results?
I'm looking. Yeah,
there's.
Twitter right
I was. Noah Certain beat Connor Brown was probably the most competitive one, because obviously Connor Brown was supposed to be the starter last year going into the MAC championships, and he hurt his leg that week. So then Noah Certain stepped in and still qualified. But so I think that's probably the most notable one.
I wonder if that'll.
And I don't know
as time goes on.
The other one that I was interested to see, and I didn't even ask why, but Colton Hawks and Jeremiah Kent, I thought that would happen. I did not see Colton Hawks, so I think maybe he was injured or something.
Dang.
No Pit Vipers busting out.
Pit Vipers.
Maybe a wait a week.
Yeah, to unleash the pits. Okay. Coach Scott Goodale says Sebastian Rivera, 141. Sammy Alvarez, 133. They're going to try it again. Try to get young Sammy down to 33. Of course, we know his weight got mad high last year, and he wasn't able to go 33.
So there's two ways to look at it. It's either the structure of a full season will help him, or the fact that he has to make 33 for a full season will hinder him because he has to cut that much weight for so long.
Wow. I think one of the things that really hurt him last year was that he didn't compete from the end of January.
Yeah, I forgot Rutgers had that huge break because they had a couple duels canceled.
Yeah, so I think the structure is gonna help him.
Yeah, and I think they had, in addition to the breaks, I think they had time where they had to be off the mat completely, or what?
Yes,
if I'm remembering correctly. And then so the coaches aren't having that daily sort of touch point with him. This is my recollection of what happened, and then he blew up.
Next thing you know, my man's weighing 163 pounds.
Is that true?
I don't know. I just made up a number.
Dang, I didn't hear that one.
I think he's a gamer. I think he'll be ready. I think, I don't know, kid like that, gamer without the opportunities to compete. I think it can be hard. I mean, easy to lose focus.
And could have been a very humbling thing for him too.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
But man, that guy is. He loves the show. He loves the spotlight. I hope it's a good look from him. We were at U23s, and I was like, we're shooting little like clips on the side of the mat to put on social media, and he's on deck. He's warming up right next to me, and then right before he goes on the mat, he's like looks at me. He's like, "I'm gonna get you something for the gram." Okay.
He loves the gram. Speaking of the gram, we got to pour one out for Sebastian Rivera's Instagram.
Man.
It's been super hacked. If you scroll
What happened?
Well, I don't know. See, it looked fine. Look at this. Shirtless guy on the beach having the time of his life. Who's
He doesn't
this?
have a shirt on.
Who's this lady?
His girlfriend stole his
Not his
Instagram.
girlfriend.
That's
That's
a
not his
hacker.
girlfriend.
His girlfriend stole it.
No, that's not his girlfriend.
How do you
That's a
know
hacker.
that?
Because if you scroll, you can see his
Like a
girlfriend.
pirate or something.
It says Sebastian got. Oh, that was Mark's comment.
Yeah, he
He
got
got it. It's his ex-girl. It's his
It's
ex-girlfriend.
his Puerto Rican
and
mistress.
She hacked it.
Don't get
Yes,
Sebastian in trouble.
She hacked it. And because she's mad that he's posing with his other girlfriend. This is obvious. This is not a hack. This is a ex-girlfriend getting angry.
No, man, don't start trouble.
Well,
My
Not
man
sure
needs
what
to
it
up his
looks like to
password
me.
game.
Listen,
Go 2-factor, baby.
I tell the
Yeah.
team this all the time.
Two-factor
Two-factor.
it.
Well, it's not
Bracky
hard.
got.
Bracky got. Did he have two-factor?
RBY
No, he did
got
not.
last year.
Probably didn't have two-factor. Listen, it's not hard.
I had my Twitter hacked one time. Not good. Not ideal.
What happened?
It was the dude was posting a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, what?
It's like all crazy stuff. I can't stuff that I can't say on here because people try to cancel me. It was a Russian dude, and then I think I had to pay him back. And actually, I didn't even have an Instagram, and some Russian dude made an Instagram of me, and Tyron Woodley paid him to let me have it.
Really?
There's money
That's how
in
I
this
started
game.
my Instagram. Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I'll send you like $200. Let
This
them
is like a
have his
hostage
Instagram."
scenario.
So wait,
Something like
you had
that,
to
yeah.
pay to get your Twitter back too?
No. Twitter, I had people I had someone take care of that and they figured it out. And but then the Instagram, like someone started a Ben Askren Instagram because I wasn't on Instagram, and Tyron's like, Ben, you're gonna want this, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. And Tyron went and paid them a couple $100, and then they're like, here's the password. And I logged in and made my own password and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just a valuable service that guy's providing.
That's great. He kept it safe and secure until you
Good
were
friend.
ready. What a
Yeah.
good guy. All right.
I don't
$200.
negotiate with terrorists.
$200 is somebody else's money. That sounds worth it to me.
Yeah. $200. All right. So
Or maybe
shout
maybe
outs-
sign him an autograph something. I don't remember what it was. It was something to that effect. Give a couple $100. Maybe he sent him like a signed shirt or something. I don't remember.
Hey,
what it
did
was.
you see this Brady 600th TD ball situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gave him
My
a
man got a
How
Bitcoin out of
great is
it.
that? Yeah.
he got a Bitcoin and a lot of other stuff.
Well, at first
really?
he about blew it and just gave the ball away for like $1,000 gift card. and
To
it,
Dave and Buster's.
and it was
So
worth
how did he
$500,000.
How did he get that though?
What?
How did he get the ball?
So
Mike
Brady
Evans.
threw it to Mike Evans, and Mike Evans hands the ball off to the stands every time he scores a touchdown, and he didn't realize it was Brady's 600th TD, and so he just gave the ball away like he does every touchdown, and then apparently immediately like security realized and like swarmed him. It was like, hey, give us that ball, we'll give you a gift card, whatever. I don't know, maybe he didn't realize and was just like, okay, cool, gift card.
I never heard of finders keepers.
Yeah, so he got like all this signed stuff. The dude made out like a bandit. He got a Bitcoin, whatever that's worth today.
69,000, I think.
No.
No, we
That
dropped.
was Bracky's book.
Oh yeah,
We had a rough-
we
we had a
gotta
rough
get
night.
Bracky for the updated because Ben will tweet the wrong price. All right, I'll text Bracky for an updated Bitcoin price.
Okay.
All right, what is next on the D1 front? Ian Parker going up to 49, which will force a wrestle off with one Jarrett Deegan, who is he's on the
How is
Kimmerer
Deegan
plan
still eligible?
because last year didn't count. The same
Wow,
reason Michael
really?
Kimmerer's in his 7th year of higher learning.
And Stevan Mičić is in his 8th year.
Well,
Love it.
That's a little different because he took a lot of years off.
This man is so many years.
Regardless, let's focus
So
on the
many years.
thing of two of Iowa State's best wrestlers, David
Yes.
Carr excluded, are wrestling at the same weight class.
I
That's
assume
awesome.
loser will go down, or like can.
No, they're going to go up and challenge David Carr, 57.
Dang.
Yeah, there were photos floating around of Ian Parker training in the preseason.
He
the
looked
guy
huge.
looked massive, so makes sense. going down is not going to be fun for either one of those guys if they lose.
I mean, Ian was a 33 to start his career.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, is that Ian Parker?
Yeah,
That's a Tyler.
I know I am.
This man, Ian Parker, he's been. What are they? A lot of Casey's.
More like Peter Parker.
Yeah, he looked like Peter Parker. I was looking for a joke there. Couldn't find it. This dude looks absolutely massive. All right, well.
Yeah, all the comments going 174. Ian Parker looking huge.
He looks huge. Okay, speaking of unknowns, Logan Massa, his status. Look at.
Well, how does he still not know? I'm very confused by the fact that he doesn't know.
I'm quite confused as well. I don't know what.
We're in the middle of October, and we're at the end of October.
Well, it's probably just second semester.
It's basically Halloween. It's spooky and scary, and we still don't know what weight this guy's going or if he's wrestling.
Is he in school?
I doubt he's in school.
I mean, that just means he's going to decide for
second semester.
Yeah, he's second semester.
Who's going to be the 74 starter now? He's just like teasing them.
I don't know. But it sounds like it's 50-50 at this point if Logan will be wrestling.
I just assumed he wasn't.
I did too. When Stefan and then Miles Amin put out the cool video that he was coming back, I was like, okay, well, if we haven't heard anything at this point from
He also
Logan,
had a child.
He had a child, which
sometimes changes things.
You kind of want one season of dad strength.
He's probably on paternity leave.
Oh my god. He could be on paternity leave from wrestling. It's 2021. There's paternity leave. So we'll see what Massa does for Michigan. Obviously, they are probably big time hoping he comes back, but
big time
unknown at this point.
The Detroit factor, that's got to be in the back of his mind. I know that was a piece of it for Amin. I mean, Amin talked about even like long before the Olympics and stuff. He talked about, what he's like. It's going to be cool to wrestle NCAAs, but without fans. I mean, come on. But to do it with fans in Detroit, I mean,
Rock City.
Detroit Rock City, yeah. That's got to be a big thing. But at the same point, it's like, oh my gosh, another season signing up for that's probably tough. But one semester, do you even have to pass your classes? Like, okay, I'll enroll in January.
I can't imagine he would have to do anything.
You don't have to pass.
Just enroll.
If you fail, you'd be ineligible the following semester.
Exactly. That's what happens in like NCAA basketball.
They just stop.
Like in January, they just like, okay, they only have to do like one semester. And then it's like, all right, cool. I don't have to go. I'm just literally a basketball player now.
Yeah.
But it's about student athletes, guys.
Oh, well.
That's what it's about. Okay. So David Bray is here to talk about.
I'm looking at these new rankings right here.
We got new rankings.
Yeah.
And
hey, grill me up. I mean, listen, these ones.
I can't. Mine was destroyed this morning. You're ungrillable for now.
Said it, Wait, was it the good grill?
The good grill.
Oh my gosh.
What was the good grill?
It got blown off the porch because the wind was so insane, and there's parts of it in the yard.
Oh, your literal grill. I got you.
My literal grill, not
your mouth.
I don't know
your teeth.
Not my theoretical grill.
Yeah. No, that's sad.
It is sad. Pour one out. Anyway, sorry
I thought you
that
were
I keep
saying
coming
you
back.
were gonna grill David Bray about a weight class, and then he schooled you or something.
No, a literal grill was blown off a porch.
Yeah.
Because of the wind.
So, I mean, post Super 32 rankings, along with post Fargo rankings, are like crazy time consuming. So, but I feel pretty good about this update. There were some really big movers in the rankings that we could talk about. But anything that you guys see that you wanna hash out?
Tell us about the biggest movers.
I'll tell you. So we can kind of go weight by weight at 106. How much did you guys get to see Adrian De Jesus? Did you guys get to watch him?
I thought you guys said you weren't going to put Knox in there. You said 13 or something.
Well, no, I said
listened. These are guys speculating about what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Listen. I mean, my thought is like, we're ranking what just happened. Anthony Knox made 106. It was a cut in half to get there, but he did it. So he's number one until he moves up. He's gonna move up. That's the plan. At 113, he'd be number two behind Braden Davis. And by the way, there's also matches that we're gonna need to see. One of them is that Knox Jezroga match you guys were talking about, but I really want to see Knox Braden Davis. I think the Davis camp is in from what I've heard. And so, I mean,
3-man round robin.
What's the?
But how can you make these guys? You guys can't make these because aren't they starting season and there will be a prohibition on it, or are these guys free to do it?
Well, listen, if you know
anything about speakeasy,
you know, think about prohibition in Michigan. I mean, they ran right across that Canadian border all the time. So maybe we put this match on.
So we're doing it in Canada.
Read a book.
I mean, Michigan and Canada, they're just boom.
Hey, will Brayton Davis go 112?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
You should rank all the Michigan guys at the Michigan weights and just have them all. Those are the national.
What if we
rankings.
did that? What if we just had like 35 different weights that you rank people?
It'd be so perfect. Hey, is there?
It'd be like boxing.
As an idiot, why can't Knox be number 1 at 113 when that time comes? Why is Braden Davis so certainly the number 1 at 113?
I mean, the last time they were in a bracket together, Braden Davis outplaced him. That was a year ago at Super 32, but like, I don't know, Davis showed up
just won Fargo.
113. Davis won. Yeah, he won Fargo. He won who's number 1 at 113.
Yeah.
It's his spot. So there's not like a head-to-head result or something really to point to say like 100% it has to be. You could make a strong case for Knox, but the wins that Davis has, I think, keep him number 1 at 13. Keep him number 1.
Yeah.
That's why. But the current number 2 at that weight now is Luke Lillidahl, who was number 2 at 106. So they both share that. Davis doesn't have that match yet. But Knox would be too because he has that win over Lillidahl. So I don't know.
How did Craps come out of nowhere so much? Because I see you guys have him as unranked. Is he literally got that much better, or he hadn't wrestled anywhere? There was an injury. What was the deal?
So Jake was, first of all, he was up. He was up at even like at Grappler Fall Classic, he was up at 119. And that was where he jumped on the radar. Like, he would have been ranked. I didn't have an update between like that Grappler Fall Classic weekend and Super 32, but he would have been ranked after that because he beat Evan Talmadge and Kyle Monteperto, and Monteperto was like top 5 at the time. So you knew he was coming. You could tell this kid is like definitely coming. He's on the way, but he hadn't
feel like he might have an injury because I'm looking at his track profile and there's no results between December of 2019 and then the Grapple Fall Classic is the next result.
He won NHSCAs and had some good wins there. That was up at 120. So that, he was coming. He was definitely coming, and he I think his middle school results have been really, really good as well.
What school is he going to? Homeschooled?
He is. Oh yeah, missed that right there. I'll have to update that real quick.
Put Buffalo Gap as a placeholder until you find out.
But man, he looked really good. I mean, clearly he was incredible, and two of those wins, Tyler Knox and Ethan Rivera, were ranked wins, and then Jax Forrest and Sam Herring are middle schoolers, so they're not in the rankings, but both would be. So Jake Craps was a big mover. He looked really good.
All right.
A couple other guys. So, man, you got to be careful with this name at 120. I think it's Fugit. Do you know how to say that, Ben? Zan Fugit?
I know how else you could say it.
Yeah, I do too. I do too, and I've said it that way before. I think
Craps to Fugit. It's
this
lot of landmines here.
This guy, last year at like 106, he was on the scene, and he was kind of one of those guys that going up in weight, there was a little bit of an adjustment period, but he ran a pretty tough gauntlet to take third at 120. Looks awesome. Super impressed with him. And he goes from unranked all the way up to number 5 in the country at 120. And 120 was a pretty tough weight at Super 32. He got a lot of really good wins there. But yeah, he's fun to watch. And then, the biggest mover and probably the biggest jump perception wise of anyone is 126 PJ Duke. Good things going on over there. Coach KD getting him ready to go, and I saw Mike Mock in the corner working with those guys as well. PJ is
Mike Mock.
Yeah, Mike Mock.
Michael Machiavelli.
Is he up in there?
He goes up there sometimes. KD's one of those guys that gets around. Like, he'll be down in North Carolina. He works with Rocco Welsh, who's in PA. He helped Roman Bravo Young get ready for the July 25th event with Dake and Chimizo last year. So he kind of gets around the country, but Mock does too. And Mike's up in New York sometimes with working with those guys. So, but yeah, PJ Duke is like, he is a guy that's not just having good results in terms of high school wrestling, but as a freshman, it's a guy that now it's like, all right, I mean, are we talking about NCAA champ down the road? You know, I think I've seen questions about what would a match look like between PJ Duke and Nick Buzakis. That's the level this kid's on now. And I picked him to win this tournament, but I did not expect him to have so many different ways to score. He was so good with that underhook, even as an 8th grader last year. But now his ability to go from the underhook to ankles and score, his re-attacks are incredible. The guy just looks like a future star. And now, to me, the question is, who's the number one in the class of 2025? Is it PJ Duke or is it Anthony Knox? Those are the two kind of at the front for me. But I don't know. What do you guys think about those two guys?
Knox or Duke? I don't know how you differentiate at this point. You could
it's
say,
so early too.
Yeah, it's so early. I mean, Duke's doing it at a higher weight with more which has more upperclassmen.
Yeah,
so, and he was dominant. Though Knox has been, since who's number one and Fargo, who's number one, and Super 32 has been like stock up. So I'll say Duke for now. But
yes,
I reserve the right to change my mind.
Yeah. The thing, you bring up the weight, and usually when a guy goes to a lower weight, it's almost, I don't know, it's almost a knock against him. But in this case, Anthony Knox, like, he went to the lower weight for that matchup and because he knew not necessarily that Bo was like tougher than necessarily the field at 113, but that it was a match that people wanted to see. And it would get people talking, and there's so much hype around Bo Bassett. People are very interested in that guy, and he wanted that story. And I don't know how to factor something like that into evaluating a prospect for college wrestling, but that is noteworthy that he had a hard cut. And in his interview with Andy Hamilton, you guys played a clip yesterday, he's like, I know people say, the weight cut doesn't matter. He's like, I think it does. I think it's important. I really focused on that. I did it well. And he even enjoys that. And so it's weird. I don't know how to factor that in, because 13, if he would have wrestled 13, it would have been a deeper weight, but going after that one matchup at 106 is
I think that was a great move for Knox from a marketing and PR perspective, because obviously we were talking about would Flo make that the last match of the night, because I think it was definitely the most anticipated final.
Yeah,
was if you guys would start at 113 and end at 106 on the finals, because that was definitely the most anticipated, and you guys actually saw the crowd kind of clearing out a little bit after that match.
Yeah, we wanted to. There were some logistical hurdles, but would have loved to make that the last match. So I'm really interested in that match, from the kind of following up on the conversation you guys were having with Burroughs yesterday about social media, marketing yourself, things like that. And Knox, like, he kind of threaded the needle with the two things that the two different parts of that conversation that you guys were having. Like, Ben, you talk about there's value in using social media and using, like, promotion stuff, and JB, he was like, focus on the results, focus on getting it done. Knox is doing both of those things right now. Yeah. Have you seen anybody at freshman in high school like able to do that?
Man, I got to. I don't really pay attention to kids that young, so it would be hard to really define that for me. But yeah, I think these guys should be. I mean, one of the things Flo provides them is the ability to get comfortable in front of a camera and answering questions, because that's, if you go back and watch, I think if you watched 15 years ago in the NCAA finals and wrestlers in front of a camera versus what we see in 2021, 2022, it's way different. It's because they have the opportunity. You guys are sticking the camera in their face, 5 times a year and getting them used to doing that. So
I think that's why you stuck out so much back then too.
Because I was willing to, I was the only one willing to say something.
Yeah. Like Johnny Hendricks was a heel, but his was more on the mat, theatrical than him playing the heel behind the camera.
Knox does both. Like, that's the thing, man. The way he warms up, the way he competes, he talks to his opponents during the matches.
Does he?
Yeah, I mean,
that's DeSanto.
Think about his match with Lilidol. It got a little physical. The hand fight got really physical at who's number one, and he's like doing the finger wag. and after the match, I think he referenced it. He's like, yeah, I was doing that. What did he say? Like, I can't remember which like Russian wrestler he was talking about that used to do the finger wag all the time, but he was like, yeah, I'm trying to be like that guy. He does it on the mat. He does it social media wise in front of the camera. And there's something to me about that's hard to evaluate in terms of a prospect, but I like it. I like to see it.
Yeah, he seemed pretty mature for a freshman for sure.
Yeah.
We got a question from Michael Mann in the email. Could PJ Duke be our next wrestling phenom following the likes of Spencer, Fix, Yanni, and Gable? I would never like put money down or say a guy, is going to go on to do like what Spencer Lee and Gable have done. That's kind of absurd, but I will say like similar trajectories. Like he is winning like things that they were at his age.
Yeah, we'll see it. I mean, I think in a year we're gonna have a lot better idea. Right now, he's good, really good, but we'll learn more as over time.
But if let's say we do get these Anthony Knox matches that we're hoping for, how do you see a Braden Davis match going?
I have no idea.
Davis presents some pretty interesting problems on the mat, and he's a huge guy for 113. I didn't
think Knox looked all that I look like if he's at 13, he's not going to be super big there, right?
Where are you guys gonna? Where are these actually gonna materialize at? Like, where do we have the chance to see these? They're not going to. So not like maybe like you say UWW cadets next year.
Yeah,
or
maybe
UWW
there,
juniors.
But to your point, when the season starts, you can't just like say, "Hey, let's do wrestling matches." Like it's not that legal.
Yeah.
So
but it is in the back of our. I mean, it is like maybe it's after the season. Maybe there's a time like it's in the back of our mind. Like these are matches we really want to see.
Yeah, of course. So did New York not have a state tournament last year? Because PJ Duke, I'm looking him up. He won state as a 7th grader in 2020. But
yeah, they canceled it, and then Frank Pop put on a replacement. And there were a lot of good guys there. I think PJ was injured at that time.
Okay.
It was classic New York State Championships in Pennsylvania, but you got a pretty good
Michigan
turnout.
did theirs in Wisconsin last year.
Yeah. Duke, man, he's very, very much in the front and center. 132, there were a couple breakout stars, 2 previous unranked guys in the top 5, and Coy Biskins, you guys talked about yesterday. He made a really impressive run to the finals. He's actually 5th, and Cameron Catrabone, who's a sophomore from New York, is ahead of him. He finished 3rd, but his wins were ridiculous. He split matches with Zeke Seltzer, but he got the later win, and then beat Emilio Isagire and a couple other ranked guys. And so that's incredible. And then Biskins also beat Isagire, just the loss to Buzakis. Beat Mac Church, beat Grayson Clark. I mean, both those guys, incredible, through the roof talent, and they showed it this weekend and made big moves. Catrabone, I was not as aware of how many good wins he had until I went back through and looked at the backside of the bracket. It's like, geez, this dude went from.
So he's the son of Jeff Catrabone, who's a Big Ten champion, and actually Catrabone just committed to Michigan yesterday.
Yeah, as a sophomore, it's a big get for the Wolverines.
That's
and
crazy,
obviously,
right?
well, yeah, it's early, a lot of time, but if that sticks, that's a really big one for them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure it probably will. Okay, any other major?
Did you guys get a look at Angelo Ferrari? Did you guys get a chance to see this guy in action this weekend?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Oh, because
he beat one of my guys. But we got him at Fargo because Charlie Millard beat him at Fargo. So
well, that's the thing. Like he had some kind of up and down results. He was actually out of the top 20 before Super 32, but the guy like he went crazy on the backside of that bracket. Went from a guy who would get a ranked win and then take an unranked loss, kind of a thing, to racking up a ton of ranked wins.
Yeah.
What'd you see in that mess and bring match? It got a little physical at the end. What was going on?
Yeah, he kept great position. He wrestled a really tough match, kept good position, and he won 3-2 at the one takedown.
And then at the end, they were
button heads.
They're button heads.
Well,
Yeah, Mitchell lost his temper a little bit. Yeah, he lost his temper.
Yeah. But it's funny because Ferrari, Angelo posted a swipe post on Instagram, and it was like 3 or 4 photos, and then the last clip, the only clip he included of wrestling was like the end where they almost got in a fight.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's funny. He's like, what can I point to here from my great Super 32 performance? Let me go to the time where I almost got in a fight. But yeah, he won a lot of close matches. It's hard to do at that tournament. I don't know, especially when you're facing elimination every time.
He also beat the guy that beat him on the front side. He beat on the back side for third.
Yeah, Jonathan Lay. The match on the front side was, I think, a ultimate ride out match. He was close to getting out, couldn't do it, and then got it done. So good work from Ferrari. And it was one of those things where, you saw AJ Ferrari in high school be so excellent, and Anthony Ferrari has had some good success. He was in the Super 32 finals last year. Angelo, now a sophomore, he just hadn't had that kind of a result yet. Now all of a sudden it's like, all right, we got three very legit Ferraris on our hands. We got a garage full of Ferraris.
Garage full. Certified pre-owned Ferraris.
Yeah. And then a couple other, you guys talked about Guyton yesterday, but a couple guys at 82 worth bringing up. Ryder Rogotsky, we know this guy is a kitchen sink guy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Kitchen sink guy.
His match with Saldano in the semis, that's one that we talked about in the pre-show last week, where we were like, what matches do we want to see? It was as crazy as you could have imagined. It was 21 points on the board. It was a 1-point match, and it came down to the last exchange, and Rogotsky got it done. That guy is like crazy dangerous, and now he's getting those consistent wins. He's up to number 2 in the country. Super impressed with that guy.
Saldano kept trying to cut him because he was down, and momentum was on his side, but when he would try to cut him, Rogotsky would just reach in and not get off his base and just grab a leg. And Saldano kept taking the bait and like trying to turn him from there instead of just kicking him away.
Yeah.
And saying, "Get off me."
Hey, Ben,
There's nothing more frustrating as a coach, Christian, when you can't get a guy that cuts someone right.
Oh my gosh, cut him.
You have that at Buffalo Gap?
Yes.
Hey, I have a question for you too, Ben, about the finals match with Rogotsky and Clayton Whiting. So Rogotsky, the dude from bottom, reaches back all the time, which is like day one, don't do it, but he does it, and he puts people on their back. I noticed when he took down, Whiting is immediately like, no, we're going on our feet. Was that something you guys talked about before the match?
So Josh is his main coach at Green Bay. So I know it's something they discussed. But yeah, I mean, man, Clayton was so close because he had that. He avenged his victory over Walters, who he lost to at Fargo in the semis, which was really nice. And dude, he had that leg attack, and it's typical Rogotsky shenanigans. He kind of got stepped over, and that was the one takedown in the match. And then obviously almost finished takedown at the end. So I didn't like that one, obviously.
That takedown is just like he just like overpowered him with his hips. Like the kid, like he's got tools that not everybody has.
For wrestling, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those things where it's something I talk about a lot, but like, where there's a lot of situations in where most people stop wrestling, and if you can learn to continue to wrestle in those situations, you're going to have a huge benefit because most people will have a relaxed mechanism in themselves, and Ryder Rogotsky does not, right? So you stay on point at all times.
I would love to see a rematch with Rogotsky and Saldano, but Rogotsky's appointment viewing. Anytime the guy's in the mat, like you just kind of don't know what's going to happen. So, and now like consistent results, he's up to number 2. So awesome work from him.
How about Singleton and Arnold? Why did you choose Arnold over Singleton?
In the rankings,
there a previous
similar to Braden Davis, the Braden Davis situation. Like he's gotten it done to earn that number 1 spot, and there's nothing that Singleton did that would put him ahead. The Rocco Welsh win that Singleton got, Gabe Arnold also shares. These two guys are from Georgia. They've never wrestled in a match, but they've wrestled in the room a ton. I mean, maybe going back to youth days, but not in high school. And they've wrestled in the room a ton. I know that Gabe Arnold and his camp would love to have this match. And I know Singleton wants that number 1 spot. This would be a really interesting match, not just national implications, but like just the fact of 2 Georgia guys, 1 and 2. I would love to see this match. I think I don't know who I would favor in this one. They both have really interesting skills. Singleton he's very hard to score on. He's got heavier hips. It seems like something that he's developed over the last year, heavier than I remember. And that's a match I would love to see. I think the state of Georgia would get behind it, but
heck yeah,
would love it.
Georgia is like the South. Georgia on one.
The Braves.
Oh. You know, I just want a camp at some point. You know, Braves referring to someone's camp. I've never had a camp. No one's ever talked about Christian Palace camp. Ben's probably had a camp. Never had a camp. It's a great status symbol to have a camp. So,
yeah, it is.
There's a dream. Okay, we went camping. We talked Super 32. Do we have any user submissions, JD, that you would like to bring into the fold? Any that stuck out you want to hear from? Your alias, Comrade Raider, called in. It's a pretty strong.
He did.
This is a Twitter, an FRL Twitter with some staying power here. This guy's good.
It is. It's a pretty good voicemail, Tyler. If you wanna pull up the voicemails, we can go ahead and listen.
Okay.
Listen to him. Let's go, Comrade Raider first.
This is actually JD.
Classic.
How's it going, comrades? This is Comrade Raider from the Twitters. Calling in to Comrade Raider from Flow, Carpet Struggle Radio Live. Also, the Funky Man Ben Askren and the Christian Piles. I hope your day is full of many successes. We must acknowledge that JD was correct and Russo was mighty on the carpet at the World Championships, especially mighty Sadulayev. I think his match come down to coaching strategy against Kyle Snyder's. I watched fighters in the corner of the carpet, and the American Kale did not even smoosh the nose one time. Was he even trying to win? My question for you is this. What happened first? America beat Russia, or Sadulayev win 10 medals of gold at World and Olympic Championships? Many blessings upon your day, comrades.
Oh, well, I think, one, the nostril point is fair. We were not holding Kyle's nostrils open in the corner, and I think we'll learn from that.
Easy fix.
10 titles, I mean, by definition, that's several years away. I think we will beat Russia before then.
And
yes, we'll
he would
beat
have
Russia
to
before then.
compete 1 year after Paris.
Yeah.
Which he's
Well, I
talked
thought
a
he
lot
has
about.
7, doesn't he?
He has 6.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Okay,
14.
7.
14,
I miscounted.
15, 16, 18, 19, 21, 21.
I've got 9. Just kidding. Yeah, so 7. So yeah, he could hit 10 in Paris.
Ooh,
We're gonna
that's so perfect.
I go there.
Let's go.
Bro,
Sadulayev getting 10.
if he goes 10 and he finishes,
damn
if he gets
Comrade Raider.
10 in Paris, that is just all-time. I mean, just like, whoa. You basically have to retire then. I think the government will get involved, be like, the tank must stop. We must cease activity. So I think
would become the prime minister, I think.
he would become prime minister. He'd be Putin's right-hand man. Okay, so yeah, I would have to say that's probably the case. Okay, shenanigans in the Ohio State certifications. Apparently, Anthony Etchemendia certified at 125. So these could be wrong.
What?
This is just from my man.
They got that good pincher.
We got they got the good pincher.
Where are you getting these results from?
It all gets uploaded. It all gets uploaded
Why would anyone cheat blatantly that hard?
I don't think they're cheating. I think
that's cheating. And no, Christian.
They're not gonna. Well, listen, Ben. It's not cheating because there's no way they have any intentions whatsoever using it at 125.
I understand. So why would they cheat so badly on the certification?
I don't think they're cheating. I think that's a baseless accusation, Ben.
Something's wrong here.
Something might be wrong. That doesn't mean there's cheating.
Let me make a point here. Here's how they do the certification, just so everyone knows. You have to be hydrated. You then step on the scale at your hydrated weight. Okay. At that point, they fat test you. So they do your body fat, say it's 8%. So we'll just do easy math here, Christian. If you have 8% body fat and you're 100 pounds, you then, by their definition, have 8 pounds of fat. You can go down to 5%, Okay, so which would be 5 pounds of fat. So you have 3 pounds you can lose in order to get down to the weight class. That is how this is a simple formula. So if there's any formula which says Anthony, let's say even weighted at 141, let's say, okay, 141, that will be 1.4 pounds per percentage. So in order for him to get down to 125, they would have to have him at 15% body fat. That's significantly higher than I am right now.
Yeah.
So they're just freaking writing numbers in there because it is so audacious. And I'm sure he didn't even weigh. I'm sure he didn't weigh in flat at 141. He probably went in a little above that. So therefore, the percentage would be even higher. So there are literally whoever is running the test is literally writing in numbers. It is blatant cheating. If what you're saying is correct, I don't have the numbers in front of me. If what you're telling me is correct, it is blatant cheating.
Well, let's hope not. I seriously doubt that's happening.
Well, they're just writing in numbers. I mean, we're saying what your numbers are saying is that Anthony Edgemendi has somewhere between 16 and 20% body fat, which is absurd.
Yeah, he's pretty freaking shredded. Yeah, I don't understand. We'll see.
Where are you finding these numbers at?
They have to upload all this stuff in track.
How big is that dumbbell?
And it says he can make 125?
Yeah, they said, yeah. There's maybe something going on. All right, I don't want you to perseverate on this topic.
Well, you know, I'm slightly autistic.
I know. I see where this is going.
Gonzalez,
I have other comments I'd like to make, but you just derail it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Next up.
We had another decent voicemail, Lee from Michigan, if you want to play that one, Tyler.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Lee from Michigan. I got a quick question. I have a foster son who's 13 and has never wrestled before, and he's kind of interested. He's on the fence. And he said, show me some videos. So I got out my phone, and I just about showed him some videos, and I'm like, wait a minute. I have to make these good. So which folk-style matches are the best that I could show him? What's a good example of well-rounded, great matches? If you guys got any ideas, let me know. Thanks. Bye.
Well, I would show him, a good match. I would show him one where it's sort of, some of the more complicated rules in wrestling are not utilized. Like if there's some weird riding time calls, or I would probably show him a folk style match because.
Didn't he say folk style match?
Okay, good.
What folk style match would you show him?
So a good folk style match that's exciting. You want to show him one with a crazy crowd, right? Something that's that shows this is a cool thing that a lot of people care about.
Taylor,
and you want to be a part of it. You can show him that one.
I feel like showing someone a match. I mean, for me, showing someone a match is going to go a limited way to, getting them in. It's going to be getting them in the room and getting them to, kind of enjoy the actual activity of wrestling.
Well, sure. Obviously.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, for his purposes, he wants to show his kid a match that is entertaining.
So what are you picking?
I would show Snyder Gwiz.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Freaking wild.
Good call, Christian.
It's takedowns,
According
sort
to
of
Chael's
simple.
most popular wrestling match of all time.
Yeah, Chael says it's the most watched match of all time. It's not, respectfully, Chael.
Might be. We could never know.
We could never know. So I would say that. That would probably be my choice. That's a great match. There's a lot of action. You could easily say, hey, this guy's going for his third title. This guy's an Olympic champion.
What was the NCAA final where the guy was down by 14 and Smith Mixer?
Lambrecht Roan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd show him that. That's a pretty cool one.
The whole 2016 NCAA finals was the Snyder Glazier. That was pretty good.
Very good finals. We had Imar Nolf was really crazy. Miles Martin beat Bo Nickel, which was nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably show him that one. All right.
Old School Wrestling Clips keeps calling in, but I'm sorry, my dude, your voicemails are too long. You got to tighten those up.
Tighten it up, Old School.
When they're multiple minutes.
Yeah, it should be around 30
multiple
seconds.
Minutes? What's he talking about?
We got multiple minute ones.
Our man needs his own podcast. Multiple minutes.
I
So
like
some of them were okay,
Comrade
but,
Raider.
he
Can
didn't do
he
it.
be our Russian correspondent?
What are you doing to King G? We've got an actual Russian.
No, Comrade Raider's better.
Wow. Big jerk, Ben Askren. Hope King G's not listening. But if he's not listening, shame on him. Now I'm mad no matter what.
I like stereotypes more than I like real Russians.
Okay. All right.
We got a text too. This one was from Danny in North Carolina. Do wrestlers value the award more than who they beat along the way? It seems really hard to get guys to wrestle in high-level matches unless it's for trials or something like that.
So I was does he mean just senior level guys here? Is that what he's talking about?
He didn't specify.
I would say this is true at NCAA. Except for like Kyle Dake, who's decided, okay, for my 4th title, I would like to beat David Taylor. But in general, I think it's more about just, hey, I want to win. I want to be an NCAA champion. I want to win the weight, or I want to place. Right?
Yeah.
That's more the milestone than there are some examples like where you have the all-time greats and people like really set their eyes on that person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, we're talking about Super 32. That's what made the Anthony Knox situation so specific or like so interesting in this, different is that he was like, all right, I want to go get this specific match. Whereas you see a lot of guys cut the weight because they think that's going to give them the best chance to just win in the belt. And that's what they want, or they want to get on the podium or whatever. They'll wrestle this weight and then never again. Knox was like very blatant about, I want the match with Bo Bassett. That's amazing. Don't see it very often.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I do get frustrated with you guys in the rankings about sometimes is I feel like in tournament format, sometimes you can't help who wins and who loses, right? So maybe if I keep advancing and someone good loses, I obviously can't beat them, but they lost. They also lost, right? So that's not my problem. I kept advancing in the bracket on the good side. And just because they lost doesn't mean I should be discredited, And who was overall in the bracket, right? If we look at the total pool of people in the bracket, and a few of them lost out, so I didn't get the chance to face them, that shouldn't be counted against me. That should be counted for me, right? They were in the bracket. I placed higher than them. That should be a benefit of me.
Yeah, I mean, there are times where I think that matters, but then like there are also times where if the guys that beat you were the guys that finished, for example, I mean, so like we were talking about 132 earlier, and Emilio Izaguirre went 4-2, didn't place, but the two guys that beat him finished 2nd and 3rd, so it's not like I don't know, it's not like he didn't
maybe
advance.
Maybe best guy in the bracket.
I mean, maybe
no, but that would be on.
But it's like, he didn't get a chance to. The guys that finished whatever, like 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever in the bracket, they didn't get a chance to. He didn't advance as far as them, so he didn't get to wrestle those matches. But if you look back at his history and you see how he's done against those guys or similar guys, kind of know how he's done and where he's been, and so I don't know. There's just a lot to factor in.
I mean, yeah. So obviously I realize it's not an easy job for you guys to factor that in. But so like he lost to Catcherbone, and obviously Catcherbone advances, but Catcherbone wasn't ranked going in, and so I don't know. I just have a hard time. And then so someone who plays maybe way higher than Izaguirre is counted it. They don't get as much benefit because you're saying, oh, he just beat Catcherbone, but Catcherbone beat Izaguirre, or right? You see what I'm saying here or no?
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, but then you take this tournament and factor it in with the rest of the results, and then you look at like, all right, well in Fargo he just beat Buzakis, Hunter Mason, Garrett Grice, and it's like, all right, now factor that all in together, and I think it makes sense to.
You have to base it on results. I mean, that's what you have to factor in. The strength of who you beat and the strength of who beat you, that determines your ranking. So if you lose to good guys, you're not going to get hurt as much. If you lose to guys at DMP, they're going to hurt you.
But it isn't, fair across the board because, for example, a freshman who has a really outstanding breakout performance and hasn't taken maybe the losses that a senior has just because they don't have the volume of results can jump a lot quicker because now it's like, well, what is your body of work? Well, it's just this awesome tournament, and you haven't been. So it is hard to get it, to feel like it's really super fair and equitable because they all have different stories and different sets of results. So it is really challenging. But I don't know. I I think it's
I remember the one that
unfair.
I got annoyed about a long time ago was Willie Miklas, he All-American, and you guys like the bracket fell apart. It ain't his fault the good dudes lost. That's not his fault, But you're like, we can't give him the credit, and so I feel like this has been manifested in other ways. But so sometimes when brackets fall apart, it's not their fault, and I feel like they should kind of be ranked, obviously based on where they place, not only right. It should be a factor of both.
Yeah. I think it should be a factor. Yeah, for sure. Should be a factor of both. But think about a guy like Alex Marinelli. You guys were arguing about him before. Yeah, he didn't place, but I don't think it makes sense for a guy like that to be way down in the rankings based on everything we know about him, based on all of his volume of results. So it's tough, but I think looking at the whole picture is more valuable than like putting too much emphasis on one particular tournament.
All right, let's get to some other questions.
If you want to send in,
you can tell when Christian's sick of a question.
Yeah, it's a little too. Yeah.
If you want to send in your own voicemail or text, you can do it at 515-509-5071 or FRL submissions at flowsports.tv.
Someone said, for freak's sake, don't let Ben call Kyle this time. Smiley face. That was from yesterday. Thank goodness.
Because CP tweeted Jordan was going to be on the show.
They're like, don't let Ben call Kyle.
I'm guessing most fans were actually probably saying the opposite.
Well, I don't care what they say.
Well, I think they're kind of they're on better terms now. It seems to be. That's the truth.
They're teammates now.
Well, they've been teammates before too. It's never. I think he's like, yeah, we're never gonna be friends, but
cordial.
We can be cordial. I don't have to hate this guy. How are you with someone like George in the lead up? What, and it was pretty like contentious back and forth.
In the lead up, yeah, I was trying to antagonize him. Didn't work out, unfortunately.
Well, no, you antagonized him.
Has worked out. Yeah, I antagonized him properly, but it didn't just turn out well for me. No. Most of the time, it has.
Yes, it has.
Now, I think he still hates me, and I'm more like indifferent, like whatever.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I'm over it.
Someone wants to know about Caleb's first tournament, which happened.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Saturday. So I did the classic dad move, double entered total for his first tournament ever. I was like, you know what? Don't give me. Hold on, Ben. Hear me out.
What?
Hear me out. I didn't do double weight.
And it's freaking October.
It's October. Okay, well, I don't know what that means.
Preseason.
It's preseason.
We're not even in wrestling season.
It's October.
We're not even in wrestling season yet.
But my thing is, it's all preseason because none of it connects to anything else as far as I understand. Anyways, I don't know anything. Little background info. One, I didn't want to go bring him 2 hours to sit in a gym and wrestle for a combined 4.5 minutes for 3 matches. Okay. I was like, I don't think he'll like that. 2, I don't know how good he is really relative to the other kids. I've never been to a youth tournament in Texas. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe he can go in the open and a rookie. I'm not sure. 3, I thought, okay, if he goes and he gets destroyed in some of these matches, that will be okay. I think he will be all right. He will not like that he lost, but I think he can handle it. And so it was sort of, we entered the open division. It didn't go as well. He was second in his rookie division. And he said he had a lot of fun. As we walked out, he's like, that was so fun. And then the next day he asked when he could compete again. So that was all good.
So how many matches did he get on the day?
He got 6 matches. Which I think he liked it. He got to pal around with his buddy, who was 2 buddies that were there wrestling. So it went good. I was no regret. I mean, maybe deep down I'd be like, man, it'd been a little better if he had just went 2-1 for his first tournament, but it's not a lot of time to be in the activity. But no, I learned a lot. It was one of the funniest parts. See wrestling this one kid. And I almost told him, I'm like, I'm not going to tell him what this kid does. Like, what is that going to help right now? Like, I knew the kid, I'd watched him in the previous match. He had a really nice arm drag. I was like, And I was like, nah, never mind. So, kid immediately arm drags Caleb, crossface cradle pins him under a minute for sure, right? And the kid comes off. Like, basically nothing happened in the match other than those things I just described. The kid comes to shake my hand. He comes up to me. He goes, "Great wrestler." And it's like, so I just like died laughing. I was like,
what a gentleman.
I was like, what? I was like, thanks. I was like, kind of like thinking like, based on what? But it was just really funny to have this like
How polite.
11-year-old kid come and be like, "Great wrestler." I was like, oh, but it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. He wants to do it again, so that's the main KPI. And yeah, I double entered him. Sue me, Ben. I wanted him to get more matches. It's not like I bumped him up a weight or anything. So
I mean, I guess it's a little bit justified since you had to go 2 hours, but I mean, just the notion in the wrestling community that more is always better is just so ridiculous to me. Like, there's so many people that think that, like, that's not enough. We need to get more. More is the only thing better.
now I feel like, okay, I understand the landscape better, and I'll be a lot more strategic. But you gotta remember, for all I knew, he was gonna do. He does really well in his room with a bunch of different wrestlers, including some that have had like success. So I'm like, I don't want him to come in and just like. So we've had scrimmages, and he comes and like, sometimes he'll just like pin all his guys or the. So I don't know if he's gonna go in there and get 3 pins under a minute. I don't think that would be that fun or exciting for him. So I want to make sure he was challenged. But now I know more. So now I'll just power Ben. I'll make sure he doesn't. But I agree. And I hope I'm not going to be the wrestling dad that's like that. I know the first indications are maybe that I will be, but so far I don't think I am. I'm pretty aware of what's happening. But we'll see.
Nice.
All
right.
I did listen. I'll say this. You know what?
Yeah, because you got to explain yourself to the wrestling public for the next 10 years.
You know what I did? The weights were set 70, 75, 80. He weighed literally 76 pounds and entered him at 80. Very obviously, right? I don't know. I don't know if other people would have done that, but I entered him at 80. So
nice.
But now I obviously know I got to come down to 70. But again, knowledge is power. That one missed. Ben's moving on. He's checking his own Bitcoin register. That was
I'm looking through the questions. There's so many.
There's so many. Does one stick out to you you'd like to answer?
No, I mean there's a bunch of really good ones.
I got one.
Okay, go.
Foot. Ben had mentioned Henry, Daniel, and him staying in wrestling if the money had been there. Would they have been anywhere close to the same level of success in wrestling that they did in MMA?
Well, I don't understand the question. I mean, so like this is I don't want to say it's a silly question, but like Henry won an Olympic title, and he also is world champion. Daniel, I think Daniel was 4th. I don't know if he ever maybe he got a bronze one time.
He got a world bronze in 7.
Okay, so he's really close. I took 7th in my one Olympics, and I got bumped up because someone got busted for PEDs. So I got my 6th place plaque in my office, and I think the highest I was ever ranked in the world in MMA was 6th. So I feel like we're all pretty comparable. Obviously, Daniel had a little more success, but I think the field is also not quite as deep in MMA as it is wrestling.
At the point when Daniel retired from wrestling, I don't think there was any indication that he was going to be a world champion, Olympic champion at that point. Like, it was maybe a possibility, but at that point, it seemed like, okay, probably not going to happen. And so he was a champ at 2 different weights, right?
Him and Sid
both. I guess he won. Yeah. He won at 205 when
205 and heavy
was out. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't think he would have had the same level of success. Henry is obviously a what if because he won the Olympics at 21,
but so he's the champion of the world in both. That's the same, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
very close.
Sure, but the idea, Ben, is like for you, would you have been able to win the Olympics or Worlds in wrestling?
I mean, I think I beaten like 7 or 8 people who took world bronze. So I think had I continued at it, there's a high likelihood that I would have won a world medal. Would I have been able to be the best in the world? I don't want to say I would have when I didn't. So, I mean, I think with my trajectory, there's a chance that I would have gotten that good. But like I said, I probably beat 7 or 8 people who won a world bronze medal, and I think 2 people who won world silvers. So I think the chances that I would have been able to, because the brackets, right, can be anywhere. You can end up anywhere in the bracket. So given the chance that I compete in a few more worlds, I think the chances I get a world medal are pretty high.
Well, cumulative scoring would have been huge for you.
That would have been, but I can't change the rules.
Yeah, the rule set is something that comes up a lot when comparing that, like, your generation to the current generation. But also, how different is it training and preparing for a goal when you're every year probably evaluating whether or not you're even going to stay in the sport, compared to now where it's like these guys, it's like, well, should I go 1 quad or 2 quads or 3 quads? I mean, it's a very different.
Yeah, that's true.
How big of a difference do you think that makes?
Well, and I might just go off on an AWA video today too, just about, I made a post yesterday about, I don't want to make this about the Rudis shoe and them being a real wrestling company. And I'm not going to steal Flo's time and give my speech. I'm going to do it on my own platform. But the fact that these athletes now, they can just focus on wrestling is so huge. I mean, like, I was making I was one of the biggest stars in sport, making almost no sponsorship money and very small stipend from USA Wrestling, and a larger but small stipend from Missouri. And right, so I had to go hustle camps all the time because I didn't want to be super, super broke. And that was a good way for me to make money, as did all the other athletes of my era. And now these guys can charge. Gable said $5,000 for one day. That was before he won an Olympic gold medal. And then after, he said, haha, it's $10,000. And I was like, we couldn't have him anyways. So, but like, they're putting their price tag so high that they're not doing a whole bunch of days at camp. So they can literally focus on wrestling, not be worried about anything else. That is a huge factor for athletes of this era versus the last era. So the sponsorship and the RTC support is gigantic for American wrestling success.
Yeah, no question about that. Someone asked, really, every Lynch wants to know how many wrestlers are going to be changing weights after Super 32. Probably a good many.
Because it's a day before weigh-in. They're not going to have that again.
Yeah, it's
I really
the thing
like
we talked about earlier. They, a lot of these guys, they want that accolade, and it's a legitimate like moneymaker for these guys scholarship wise. So it's they're willing to sacrifice and go down and
they should.
They should. And a lot of these guys too, like their high school weight, like their high school competition, it's not worth it for them to hold a really low weight. It just doesn't make sense. Like
and day before versus 2 hours before is just different, totally different thing.
I heard Casey Swiderski is going to wrestle 170 for some high school matches just to get competition. Like, not because he's that big, just I want good matches at small school Michigan. I'm a 38 pounder that's going to wrestle 170.
Yeah. I wrestled 189 my conference tournament because there was 2 state placers there, and I weighed in at 166.
Dang.
Yeah. No, so you need to. Hey, so what this plays into this question, and I know what my answer is. I have a 1A and 1B, but I want to hear what your guys' answers are. Also, Coach Jason Cook, if a wrestler trying to get a college scholarship and they can only place 5th at one tournament, what tournament would that be to maximize their scholarship chances? And I think this is easy for me. I think tournament number 1A is Super 32, and I think tournament 1B is UWW Cadets.
I would say the Olympics.
Stop. Be reasonable.
I had to pick one. Yeah. So you said Super 32 or
UWW Cadets was my 1B.
Artist formerly known as Askren. That would probably have to be it.
Would you value a junior Fargo 5th more?
That would probably be my next one down.
Than a UWW Cadet 5th?
No.
That's
UWW
probably
Cadet is tougher because I think they have limited weight classes because they jump so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of the seniors don't show up at Fargo anymore, which makes that division a little less difficult. Right. But that would be my number 3. So how do you guys rank them?
Yeah,
Super
I agree
32,
with you.
Super 32, Askren. I don't know. Well, an interesting one is juniors. Not Fargo juniors, but UWW juniors.
UWW.
You see a lot of high schoolers enter that. If we count that, I would say that maybe even over.
Yes, because you get a lot of college freshmen there.
Yeah, you're probably wrestling.
I kind of wasn't really including that one.
Yeah.
You're probably wrestling against like the coaches. The coach that might be recruiting you might be in the opposite corner at that tournament. So,
so one of the reasons that I don't really include that one is usually UWW kid goes up to birth year 17, and then so birth years 18 through 20 are juniors. Usually by the time they're that birth year 18, the high majority of them have already committed somewhere. They're that good.
Yes,
that's a good point. Although Ryan Deacon was someone who was not on a lot of radars the way he was. Then he beat Yanni and made the junior world team and got silver. And turns out he's pretty good. So that was
He's pretty good.
That was an example of that. But yeah, by and large, you're right about that. The other thing about UWW cadets is this isn't anyone's fault, but the 4-minute matches, it's like, okay, well,
that's hard. That is hard.
It's not a lot to evaluate. I mean, it's almost one half of a college match.
Yeah.
You know, that's
yeah.
And in an overtime match, it is, right? So there's a gas factor. There's a lot of factors. So I would have to say for that reason, Super 32, just because of the style and the match length, especially with the deeper run.
Yeah.
I still wish Super 32 had full 6-minute matches for every round.
Yeah, I do too. You know what's really funny about Super 32? On day one, there is a 5-minute match that is 2, 1.5, 1.5. On day 2, there's a 5-minute match that is 1, 2, 2.
Yes.
And I always find that to be funny because it's I
don't understand it.
Why don't you just pick your 5-minute match? What do you want your 5-minute match to be? Do you want it to be the day 1 5-minute match or the day 2?
I agree. I don't know.
I actually like the day 1 better. That 1 minute first period is just so fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially because that's like a lot of times the feel out period where it takes a while for action to happen.
I don't know. Shorten that one. Accelerate it. No feeling out. Let's go. You got a minute. Start scoring.
Well, I don't like it because if, obviously.
Well, it still happens. It just takes the full period.
Still feeling each other, bro. Don't end the period.
Well, the other thing that happens is, takedowns don't usually happen in the first, say, 10 seconds. So if a takedown happens at 40 seconds, 35 seconds.
They did in my match.
Now the ride out to get to a minute is relative. I don't want to say easier, right? So the likelihood that you're ending the period 2-0 is pretty good, which I think that's a huge advantage.
I completely agree with that. Next question, a fun question. What's your favorite place where NCAAs was held, and what's the city you'd like to see it take place in? Well, I know where I'd like to see it take place. 2020.
US Bank.
We got to go back to the football stadium.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. That was going to be so awesome.
Put it in a football stadium. I want to see
awesome.
that. That would have been awesome. I think Minnesota would have been good. I hope they give them another shot. Favorite cities, favorite places? New York was awesome. I mean, New York City is really cool. I know it's not for everyone, but it was kind of awesome. We literally were across the street. We stayed in a very terrible hotel, but that was okay because oh my God. Sion wound up, I was staying with Brock, and then Brock somehow gave Sion a key or whatever. Sion, predictably, snores like crazy. He's sleeping on the floor. Totally jammed up my entire night's sleep. That was the only bad part.
So I'm really excited for 2.5 years, I guess. Kansas City, 2024. They had it in Kansas City in 2002 or 3, the year 3, I think it was the year before I competed. And I was down in the old Kemper, which is down like in the bottom by the river, and it's really dumpy and there's nothing close to it. Now this time it's going to be in, I believe it's called the Sprint Center, and it's really close to all the hotels and the power and light. It's going to be super convenient. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I love Kansas City. So
I've actually never been to Kansas City, Ben.
What? Kansas City's a great one. My wife gets jealous because, I don't know if jealous is the right word. Okay, I feel the same way as she does. Kansas City is so much cooler than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we're like, why didn't I start the wrestling academies in Kansas City? That would have been so much better. Then we could be there. But we didn't, so we're here.
Well, I mean, just amplify that. Come to Austin. If you're going to move, you know where to go.
Well, why? You guys didn't answer that. Why isn't it in Austin?
What, NCAAs?
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
Well, I don't think the cities have to bid for it.
Dang it all.
If they
but you said
Tulsa,
this is in your dreams.
In my dreams. In my dreams, I want to go somewhere. I don't want to.
I like seeing different cities.
Yeah.
How about this one? What about Denver, Colorado? So we just see like longers or
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Yes, I am all
awesome.
in on an elevation NCAAs.
I like Denver too. So I'm in.
I mean, why stop there?
I go skiing after. Stay a couple extra days.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, that would be
What?
awesome.
Let's go to Laramie.
Yes.
Let's go to Cheyenne. That's
I
even
love
higher,
how
right?
The Cowboy
Laramie's higher in
Open
Cheyenne.
is
Oh, yeah.
always the first open for a lot of schools.
Not this
And-
year. They pushed it back.
I know, but normally and obviously, is Laramie the highest D1,
Yes.
most elevated Division 1 school?
So
there's
7,000,
some
I
major
think?
gassing that happens there.
Yeah, Denver. Oh my gosh, Denver's got to get in.
That would be fun.
That would be so fun.
Mile High City, more ways than one. Am I right?
Wow. Bray's gonna smoke so much marijuana cigarettes.
No way.
It'll be crazy.
I would also like to see it somewhere warm. I mean, my other pick, I'm throwing a lot of dream cities out here.
Phoenix.
Somewhere nice and warm, like
I've never been to LA.
Atlanta.
Mhm.
I forget California. They're a dumpster now.
San
so we're
Diego.
going-
You don't want to visit?
San
No,
Diego.
they're all dumpsters. We're going somewhere where they love freedom.
San Diego loves
You don't wanna
freedom.
just
That's
visit?
like,
Florida.
you know how many troops are in San Diego?
San Diego does not love freedom right now. There's a bunch of communists over there.
I don't think you know much about San Diego. San Diego, I think, is holding the line.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Not San
Okay,
Francisco.
well, I'm going maybe Miami. I
Okay.
think.
Party in the city where the heat is
The,
on.
the city, all night on the beach to the break of dawn.
That's
Bienvenidos
right.
a Miami.
Wow.
A1A Beachfront Avenue.
Yeah, all good options. You just want to go there for the Bitcoin stuff. They love Bitcoin.
Listen, I'm going April 6th through 9th. There's a Bitcoin conference next year. I'm freaking going.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so
it's-
excited.
I wonder if they have it. Miami loves Bitcoin for the cocaine deals. Like that's like perfect.
Oh, stop!
If
you want to launder
that's why,
money,
right?
You launder money in cash. You launder money in cash. You
Straight
don't
cash,
freaking
homie.
use Bitcoin for your illegal purchases because it can be tracked. All purchases on the Bitcoin network are visible, publicly visible. Use cash,
but you don't know who
do
they
stuff with
are,
Cash.
right? You don't know who's doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't get too, but they can track them, right? So they track, and then somehow they've done this with a few different people who are doing. I don't want to talk about what kind of illicit activities, but illicit activities they've tracked it and somehow figured out who it was because there were so many transactions.
Okay.
So cash is the number one use for illegal activities.
Cash coins.
CP, I don't think you like Vegas as much, but
I don't like Vegas.
I don't mind Vegas.
I don't think Vegas. No, I'm
It's
out
kind
on
of a
Vegas
terrible
and
place.
What about New Orleans?
New Orleans? No,
I've never been to New
I've
Orleans.
heard
No, I don't like
a
New
little
Orleans.
murdery, and I did stay in a murder hotel, but New Orleans is like one of those. You take the wrong turn in the wrong place, and you could be in some a bad situation.
Maybe Atlanta.
Oh, St.
but they don't
Louis.
love
St.
freedom.
Louis
They don't
is
love freedom that much either.
Maryland doesn't like freedom. Is that what you said?
No, I said Atlanta.
Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah. St. Louis is great. They've had it there so many times, but St. Louis downtown is it's kind of going downhill.
It's
Not-
getting
not
worse.
great.
Last time we were there,
Yeah.
it's
gonna get better.
She's gonna get better. All right. Great show. We went almost to 9:45 on Taco Day. That's how you know the good vibes were flowing. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Come heck or high water. High water is possible in the current Austin, Texas climate. It's been raining. As we know, I have a whole grill situation as a result of this inclement
Whole
weather.
grill situation.
Don't feel sorry for me though. I got it good. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We hope you guys have a great Wednesday. There was a dog here this entire show. You had no idea because Murphy is well behaved. Hold up this dog.
Come here, Murph.
Everyone, you're gonna see this dog if you're watching the
I'm out of
video.
here. Jeez.
Ben hates dogs, so he's hanging up. Look at this guy. Look at this little snowball man. Hello.
He's getting a haircut tomorrow.
He's getting a haircut.
Mohawk him. You gonna mohawk him?
I don't know. We'll see.
JD grooms his dogs better than his own hair, so that's okay. All right, guys. Enough's enough. Goodbye.